Welcome to this Bentley Systems training course on RAM connection. In this video, you will learn how to provide different types of connections at the interface between gussets and branches with hollow sections in a truss gusset branch connection. In this model, I have already created a truss joint with 6 branches. Let's first go into the joint data to look at the sections that I have utilized at the moment for my cord member and branches. I've used a UB section from the Australian sections database for the cord member. For the braces at the top, I've selected square hollow sections, and I've provided circular hollow sections for the branches at the bottom. Now let us go into the Design tab, where we can select our design code and assign a connection to the joint. Before we apply the truss gusset branch connection, let's have a look at the code that we are working with. I'm working with the Australian Steel Code AS 4100-2020. The truss gusset branch connection can also be created for the American, Canadian, European, as well as the New Zealand code. Next, we will click on the Assign button and select the truss gusset branch connection from the Smart Connections group. Let's now go into the connection pad for this TGB connection. From the different sections of the connection pad, we will scroll down to the interfaces. Here we can select the upper or lower gusset to change the parameters related to the gusset plate itself, like the thickness and material of the gusset. We can also select the branches at different locations. So we will first select the upper right branch and see what kind of connections can be applied between this branch and the gusset. The connection types available here will depend on the type of section used for the branch. For a hollow section like what we have for our branches here, the connection between the gussets and branches can be set up as either bolted or welded, and you will see a bolted connection by default. The bolted connection for tubular members can be configured as different types of T and slotted end connections. As a default option, we will see a slotted end connection type. This end connection type consists of a simple plate welded to the slotted hollow section branch and bolted to the gusset plate. Another option is to select a T connection. Here the branch will have a welded connection to the cap plate of the T section, and the gusset will have a bolted connection to the T. Next end connection type is a T with forked plates. This consists of a double stem plate welded T, which is welded to the branch and bolted to the gusset plate. Then we have T with cover plates. This has a simple stem plate welded T, which is welded to the branch and bolted to the cover plates at the stem. The cover plates are then bolted to the gusset plate. Next option is slotted with forked plates. This connection is like the default case of slotted connection, but has 2 plates welded to the slotted hollow section branch and bolted to the gusset plate. Then we have the option of slotted with cover plates. This connection is like the default slotted case, but uses cover plates to connect the plate slotted in the branch to the gusset plate. Let us also change the connection type for our upper left branch from bolted to welded. To do this, we need to select the upper left branch from the interface and change its connection type to welded. Doing this, change the color of our design status from green to yellow. This means one or more geometric considerations according to code requirements is not being fulfilled. So let's click on Reports to see what we need to change to get back to our green status. With the introduction of a new navigation panel for reports in version 13 update 9, we can now navigate to different sections of the report more easily. So let's jump into the report section covering the interface between the gusset and the top left branch. Here we can see under the geometric consideration for this interface that the weld size is exceeding the maximum value according to the reference used for this consideration. So we will go back to the connection pad and change the weld size used in the welded connection for this interface. And now our design status is highlighted in green again. For a bolted connection between the branch and gusset, the option to use a flattened end is only applicable in case of branches with circular hollow sections. Let us use that option for our lower branch. With this, the branch member will have its end flattened over a defined length, and that portion is bolted to the gusset plate. Again, we will notice the design status is highlighted in yellow. So we will go to the reports once more and investigate the geometric considerations for our lower branch. According to this report, the diameter to thickness ratio for the circular section exceeds the maximum value allowed. So if we want to utilize the flattened end connection, we will need to change our section size for this lower branch. So I will save the connection and go inside the joint data to change the section for my lower branch. And once I've done that, I can see the design status is highlighted in green again. In this video, we have worked with a truss gusset branch connection assigned to a truss joint. All the interfaces that we have created today will also be applicable to gusset connections in a column beam brace joint. This concludes our training on creating different types of connections at the interface between gussets and branches with hollow sections in a truss gusset branch connection.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.